Welcome to your 12-minute HR lesson. Today we're going to talk about Whitney Houston, the most amazing vocal performance of all time, and how this can help you hire and develop better. So let's go. I can't sing. This probably won't surprise you. You're probably tired of listening to my monotone. I can get by. I'm neither amazing nor quite good enough. I could probably fill in a chorus in the right places and not terribly stand out. Weirdly, I can only sing high or sing low and not all the notes within those ranges. So at best, I could just hide in the bass section and just skip the notes that I can't sing. I know enough about basic singing technique to kind of avoid sounding nasally, but that's it. I don't have a huge natural talent for it. I know enough about it to adjust what I do so that I don't sound terrible and can kind of get by. Would I do well at karaoke? No. Can I have fun at karaoke? Yes. And that's about the extent of it. I can sing well enough to be passable. And we'll come back to this question of talent and capability later. But first I want to talk to you about one of my favorite things when it comes to music. And it's an interesting phenomenon you see here and there. And that is undersinging, where a singer with an amazing voice, with this big, strong voice, undersings it, which is singing well within their capabilities and their volume and their strength to deliver a real sense of emotion through that undersinging. You see this much more in divas, much more in those big, powerful female vocalists who can really belt it. Less so in males. I can think of, there's a couple of examples. How Bono sings With or Without You is a good example. Freddie Mercury does a couple of versions, but they don't do it anywhere near as well. Take how Beyonce sings Halo really simply, really within her range, within what she could do with it. But by dialing it back, she really can put in a lot of emotion. Perhaps the best example, although not my favorite, which we'll come to, is Adele's Someone Like You. We know that Adele can really hammer a song. Her capacity to really command her vocal range is fantastic. But by undersinging Someone Like You, you get that real sense of emotion, of her fragility, of her tentative reconstruction of herself after what has happened really comes through her undersinging, almost like what she's not singing, and how she's not singing tells us so much about how she feels. But the greatest example that I want to talk to you about today is Whitney Houston's performance of The Greatest Love of All. I'm not a huge Whitney Houston fan. I never have been. Still not necessarily. It's not my type of music. But there's something interesting and compelling about Whitney Houston, both how she sang and how she lived, that is a story I need to keep coming back to. And I've got a whole extra thing about her life that I want to talk to you about at some stage. But just today, I want to talk to you about her talent. I want to talk to you about her capacity to sing. And I want to talk about it in the context of that song. But before we do, I want to put a really crude metaphor in your head. Some of you can remember how to drive a manual car. Hopefully you still get the concept that cars have gears, that they go up from first to second to third to fourth to fifth, that you go down, you go around a corner, you drop it into third, you need to do a hill start, that's a first, so on and so forth. That as you drive a car, you move it up and down the gears. What is so amazingly extraordinary about Whitney Houston and how she sings The Greatest Love of All? And she does this live. There's lots of versions on YouTube, which is of her doing this live and this performance live. So this isn't studio trickery. This is just her sheer raw talent. She'll always start off the song under singing. Really simple, really keeping it constrained. But as she progresses through the song, she'll drop out of that under singing, but then she'll drop back in. And it's like moving up in gears. She moves from second to third to fourth to fifth, back to third, all the time. And sometimes within the same line, she'll hammer out the first part of a verse and then trail it off 2 lines later. It's just extraordinary to watch how talented she was with her voice and how capable she was to move around within that capability to deliver extraordinary, spine-tingling performances. Okay, you are. So what? Why the music review of a 35-year-old song? It's a fair question. And it's the question of talent versus skill. Back in the early days of HR, almost back to the days when they called it personnel, there was a switch that I think was unhelpful. We moved away from this concept of KSAs to competencies. KSA standing for knowledge, skills, and abilities. We bundle them all up and said, right, can this person do this thing? And I think we lost a lot in the differentiation. And it's something I keep coming back to. Because knowledge, skills, and abilities are very different things. We're going to talk about the difference between knowledge and skills another day, but today I want to talk about the difference between skills and abilities. To keep it really, really simple, your skill is your capacity to do complex tasks. They're not things that you can just know. They are things that you need to learn how to do with repetition, coaching, support, development. Anybody can learn how to drive a car, but you can't just read a book and go off and do it. There is a difference between knowledge and skills, but there's also a difference between abilities and skill. To give a different analogy, there is an old expression in basketball, which is you can't coach tall. You can train someone to be able to do something, but how well they can do it is capped by their natural talent. Everybody has a natural cap. Most things don't necessarily matter. Like being really, really good at driving doesn't really make a difference. Obviously, if you're a professional driver, a Formula One driver, that talent ceiling is really critical. You can't take someone off the street and train them up to be a Formula One driver. You can't take someone and train them and expect them to be at that world-class level. And so this is something that we need to be thinking about all the time. If we need someone to be really great at a certain job, we can only train so much. There is a certain point in which we hit the cap of their natural talent. What does this mean for you? This is essentially a workforce planning and recruitment question. When we are thinking to ourselves, we want someone really good in there, yes, we can train them, but what is their natural talent? What are they naturally capable of doing? You can't teach me to be a great singer because I have a limit. My vocal cords just cannot do the thing. Like they'll never get to that world-class level, no matter how much singing, practice, coaching I could possibly do. Whitney Houston and so many of those other great divas had such a high cap of their talent, which through training and development and practice and skill got to that level. And what's so interesting, by seeing Whitney go up and down the gears, by listening to her go up and down so effortlessly, you get that sense of her extremely high natural cap, about just how high she could go and just how much within that potential she could move. You compare that to me trying to sing that song, I'd be lucky if I hit first gear. So what is your takeaway from this? When we're looking at our people and we're looking at what their potential is, think about talent and skill and recognize the difference. Talent is what is their absolute maximum potential. Skill is how we can get them there. Training them gets them there. But everybody has a cap. So there you go. I hope you go away and listen to Whitney Houston. I hope you go away and listen to Adele. I hope you can hear the beauty and wonder of undersinging, but also how their movement is so extraordinary. But as always, thank you for listening. As always, if you're interested in our training courses, if you're interested in how we can help you with your HR problems, check us out at pragmatichrm.nz. Check out our articles. We have lots there as well. But otherwise, please share us around on your social media however you want to do that. However you can help, we do appreciate it. Thanks.